Hello and welcome to another episode of All Things Theology. If you haven't seen my first video, then go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. If you did just come from it, then you might have heard me use the word theology. And perhaps you know exactly what theology is, but maybe you don't. So today I'm going to answer the question, what is theology? So there are a lot of misconceptions about what theology actually is. Some people think that it's boring and that it distracts us from God, that it doesn't bring us closer to God, but actually takes us away from God by making Christianity into something boring and impersonal and academic. They think it's a distraction from a personal relationship with God, and so it isn't uncommon to hear people say things like, forget theology, I just want Jesus. And you know, if they're right, if theology actually is something that takes us away from God, that doesn't bring us into a personal relationship with Him, then I couldn't agree more. Forget theology, we don't need it. We just need God. But is that what theology actually is? Are they right? No. So the word theology comes from a combination of two different Greek words. You've got theos, which means God, and you've got logos, which sometimes means word, but in this case means study. And so you take the two of them, you mush them together, and you get theology, the study of God. That's what theology is. And so any question that ultimately leads back to God is a theological question. If I ask, is there a God? Why are we here? What does the Bible say? Why do we suffer? Who is God? That's theology. And so the irony of people who say, forget theology, we just want Jesus, it's laughable. Because when you say, we want Jesus, you ultimately have to ask, who is Jesus? And you say, oh, he was the Son of God, and he came to earth to die on the cross and to take away our sins. That sounds an awful lot like theology to me. And so theology clearly isn't something that distracts us from God or draws us away from Him. Theology is the way that we actually know God. In reading the Bible and praying and trying to live as a Christian and trying to work out what God's will is for your life. That's theology. And so theology and the theological things I'm going to talk about on this channel, they aren't just for the people who use big thick textbooks and complicated words. It's for everyone. If you want to know who God is, if you want to know what God is like, then theology is for you, and you are a theologian. Congratulations. God bless.